So, of course, I have to say that the liturgist inside me thought it was a great idea that we have the opportunity to, change Sunday and celebrate this feast day, the feast of these three archangels. And then I realized I was preaching today. I said, ooh, that's a whole different way to think. But I have to ask you a question. Don't I look like an angel? My mother always told me I did. There's only 3 angels mentioned by name in the Bible, and that's who we celebrate today, the 3 archangels, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. Now, we all know Michael as the protector, right? When we see those pictures, we see the sword and the shield and this big guy. And then, of course, Gabriel we know as the announcer. I mean, who told us about the coming of Jesus? But really, kind of Raphael, we know he's there, but he kind of gets by us. In fact, even when I was assigned here many, many years ago, I didn't even look up who St. Raphael was. I just kind of knew he was one of the archangels. And then came time for the statue. That beautiful statue that we blessed and dedicated back in Easter 2017. And it's great to have this in our courtyard here. It's a place for pictures. It's a place to pray. And it's something that reminds us of who our patron is. You can't imagine how many times we went back and forth with the artist to kind of figure out what's an angel supposed to look like. But I think we did okay. We came up with something. And I got to know Raphael through the Old Testament book of Tobit. And came to learn, his father said, he came to learn that it meant God has healed. And he was a healer. He was a protector. He was a companion. And he was even a friend, a very good friend of Tobias. I don't know if they still say BFF, but one of the best of friends. And you think about what an angel is supposed to look like, right? We figure, we got these big wings and this bleach white garment. We're close here with this statue, but not Raphael. See, he took on a human form, a very friendly, easy to get along with form because he was the friend of Tobias and accompanied him. Now, I'm not the Bible scholar that Father Kevin is or Father Tim is, but if you read the book of Tobit, and trust me, you have to kind of read it slow, and maybe even 2 times, and you get through some of the biblical jargon and innuendo. You come to learn that the story of Tobit is really just about an everyday, average family living in some very socially troubled times. And they're really just trying to get through the struggles of life, the ups and downs. They're trying to raise their son properly. They're trying to remain faithful to God, especially during those challenging times in life. And yes, their family had some challenges. In fact, even some of the passages, one of the passages between the wedding of Tobias and Sarah is used often at our wedding ceremonies. Not just here, but of course in the Catholic Church. The book of Tobit is pretty much basically about St. Raphael and how he helped Tobit's family as the protector, as the healer, and as the one who accompanies Tobias on his life's journey. And there's a lot of folklore in this story. Of course, it's biblical scripture. Folklore, stories from the generations of families kind of put together. But the message is very clear, and it is mainly about this: following God with piety, with morality, with joy, and with sorrow. Piety, morality, joy, and sorrow. Isn't that a beautiful description of just trying to follow God faithfully? And this story is filled with all the stuff of everyday families as they went on some 2,700 years ago. And the story is there to remind us that some way or another, God finds a way to accompany us, to be with us. Let's face it, how many times have we kind of looked up and said, "Hey, God, did you forget about me?" Or we said, "Wouldn't it be nice to have an angel walking alongside us at this time of struggles in my life?" That's what St. Raphael did. That's who St. Raphael is. So we talk about today's Feast of the Archangels, and the question has to come up. If this is about archangels, why is the gospel talking about the calling of one of the disciples? Why not about the angels? And we hear about the calling of Nathanael. What's so special about him? Well, first, Nathanael was known as Bartholomew in the other Gospels. And there wasn't anything that special about him. He was from Cana, the local area, of course. He was a good friend of Philip's. He was a fisherman, and he probably studied Scripture with Philip. But what's so special was that conversation between Jesus and Nathanael. That's why this was picked. As soon as they talked, Nathanael knew who Jesus was, and Jesus knew who Nathanael was. There is no duplicity in him, as Jesus says. What that means is what you see is what you get. Nathanael was very polite. He was proper. He was straightforward, really without offending people, but he was very solid. He did not give up on his beliefs or convictions. What you see is what you get. That's exactly the same way that the three archangels fulfilled their ministry, fulfilled their duty as they were called on the face of this earth. So, what about us today? What does that mean? Well, as we're scurrying around in our average lives today, and we're focused on our kids and our family and our work and our emails and our texting and our Facebook and all of that stuff. And every now and then we look up and say, "God, did you forget about me?" Or maybe we think, "God, you really did give me too much to handle." That's the time we can take our lead from Tobias and his relationship with St. Raphael. We take our lead, and like he did, we invite him, we welcome him, and he walks alongside of us in our journey of what we call our life.